My friends once traumatized a burglar, and somehow we got away with it. It happened in college during our big end-of-year party at my house. The place was packed, music blasting, people laughing, drinks everywhere. At some point, I felt sick and needed to throw up. Both bathrooms were taken, so as a last resort, I ran outside and threw up in the bushes. When I finally lifted my head, I noticed something strange. My neighbor's window, the guy who lived next door, was wide open. Weird thing was, he was at the party, and he lived alone. I got closer and peeked inside. That's when I saw a man I didn't recognize stuffing jewelry, electronics, and whatever else he could grab into a travel bag. It took me a few seconds to process what I was seeing, but when it clicked, I sprinted back inside, yelling that someone was robbing the house next door. Immediately, chaos broke out. A few girls grabbed their phones and called the police, but the guys, oh no, they decided to become superheroes. A few of them grabbed broomsticks, one genius grabbed a roll of duct tape, and they all charged across the yard like it was some kind of raid mission. The burglar saw them coming through the window, panicked, and tried to escape, but it was too late. The drunk mob tackled him to the ground and started whacking him with broom handles. The poor guy froze, absolutely terrified. Then things got weirder. The guy with the duct tape walked up calmly, as if this was a normal Tuesday night, and started tying the burglar's hands and feet together. And for some reason, the burglar didn't even fight back. He just lay there, mumbling something about how he'd never do it again, but it didn't stop there. Someone brought out a giant trash bag, and before I knew it, they wrapped him up inside it, with his head sticking out like a terrified Christmas present, then kept wrapping him with the entire roll of duct tape. He was literally begging us to let him go. The police still hadn't shown up, and one of the guys suddenly said, "We need more stuff to tie him with." So, a group left for the dollar store to buy rubber bands. About 10 minutes later, they came back, with no rubber bands, but somehow with a whole rope. I decided to go check inside, make sure everyone was fine, and ask when the police were coming. When I came back out 5 minutes later, my jaw dropped. They had tied the burglar upside down to a lamppost, hanging there like a human piñata. The guy was spinning slowly, taped and wrapped like a giant caterpillar, while my friends were laughing, drinking, and taking selfies with him. Since the cops still weren't there, people just brought the speakers outside and kept the party going. I swear someone even offered the guy a beer, but he obviously couldn't drink it upside down. A few neighbors came out, annoyed by the noise, but once they saw the scene and realized what was going on, they just laughed. One even thanked us for catching the neighborhood burglar. 15 minutes later, the police finally arrived. You could tell they were trying to act serious, but they couldn't stop smirking. Apparently they'd been searching for this guy for a while and couldn't believe this was how they caught him. They didn't yell, didn't arrest anyone. We were all 18. No one got hurt. And honestly, they just looked impressed. They cut the guy down, stuffed him in the back of the patrol car, and literally drove away, still keeping him wrapped up in duct tape like a caterpillar. We stood there in silence for a moment before everyone just burst out laughing again. To this day, that night is legendary. The burglar was traumatized, the cops were entertained, and somehow, none of us got in trouble.